10 seconds remaining.
Welcome to Game 2 of Zenith vs Dignitas in the TI3 group stages. Dignitas just took Game 1
Reserve time.
in a pretty nice comeback, and Zenith,
Team Dignitas's turn.
they were really aggressive early on, which is to be expected from Zenith. They love to play aggressive, but they just couldn't carry it through, and I think their draft was the big weakness. They're going for that's a little bit of a cheesy Shadow Demon Dazzle combo, and putting the Weaver in that tri-lane I think was kind of unnecessary. They could have gone for a lot of other picks that might have offered picks or lanes or whichever combination thereof that would have offered a lot more for the strategy that they were going for, which was a lot of early aggression and to just win before 30 minutes, which they did not manage to do.
Reserve time.
Nonetheless, they have the potential to take this 1-1. Both these teams are pretty even, though Dignitas their standings in the league right now are pretty good. They're sitting at, after that game, 7-2 versus Zenith 3-6. Zenith needs to start pulling out some wins if they have any hope of making it to the winner's bracket. But it's starting to look pretty dark for them. But looking at this draft, Zenith gives up the Wisp. A ballsy maneuver. And it's going to be, I mean, I almost just by nature of there being a Wisp in the game, I'm going to favor the team that has a Wisp. But we'll see what Zenith goes for. And I like the Timber Saw in response to an IO. Very mobile, hard to gank, and it's possible for him to assist against an IO relocate gank with pretty good speed. And I think of the possible heroes that you could pick, especially Weaver as well. I think he's a hard target for relocate ganks.
5 seconds remaining.
And Earthshaker is a good long-range assistance support, which can help deal with that. So Zenith, I think they have some tools to deal with the relocate, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. These aren't hard counters. These aren't strong solutions. These are helpful things to have. Doesn't change the fact that if Zenith gets caught off guard, if anybody gets caught out of position, I don't know that there's going to be any saving
10 seconds remaining.
Zenith from the wrath of IO. This will actually be the first game, I think, where I've seen an IO slip through, aside from the wildcard matches between Rattlesnake and Quantic.
Reserve time.
IO has just been straight banned endlessly by almost every team, except for the China versus China matches. There's no Wisp involved. Dignitas to go alongside that Wisp. Wisp is not all 5 heroes of their team, believe it or not. They get the Beastmaster and Darkseer for some really strong team fight. They have really good initiation, and it's likely going to be a Beastmaster mid. So that would leave Darkseer in the off lane, IO Gyrocopter up at top. So they're looking for one more support. It's an all-round, it's a well-rounded lineup. I think Beastmaster is pretty good versus Timbersaw.
10 seconds remaining.
Simply because the Primal Roar offers a reliable solution for dealing with the mobility that both Weaver and Timbersaw offer.
Reserve time.
So, and that's definitely helpful for Dignitas, trying to stay on top of these very mobile cores on Zenith. I also like Beastmaster with Gyrocopter. You drop the Power Reward and then follow it up with the call down. It's fairly reliable damage. I need to find more words besides reliable. I feel like I'm on a constant hunt for new words. Like I use one twice and I'm like done with it. Everything is one use. Zenith will round it out with a Queen of Pain, and oh, they pick up the Chaos Knight. Interesting. Is this a support Gyrocopter? It is. Well, Dignitas, I believe they were one of the. I don't know if they were the first, but they were definitely one of the earlier teams to pick it up. But it's snaking on the gyro right now. I can only imagine they're going to swap that up. Yeah, I think they're just trying to play mind games. They'll put sneaking on the Beastmaster and way too on that support gyro. An uncommon pick, but I think if you pick gyro just for the call down and the rocket barrage, that's fine. And versus Zenith's team, I think it could work. they, especially with the Chaos
10
Knight pickup,
seconds
I mean, that
remaining.
fact that made it all the way through the draft is kind of funny. But
5 seconds.
with the Chaos
remaining.
Knight, they have plenty of ways to keep people inside the call down AoE. So I think as a support pick, if he can get his levels way too sexy, should be pretty useful throughout this game. Of course, are they just gonna contradict me? Come on,
Prepare
come on,
for
guys.
battle.
You know you want to swap. Maybe not. Huh. So if it's not a support gyro, then this is a super greedy lineup from Dignitas. Still haven't swapped. Still haven't swapped. The Queen of Pain, I think, is a decent solution. It's really squishy. That's the concern I have for Zenith. Is that there's a lot of ways for Dignitas to just take a giant shit on Queen of Pain. Chaos Knight especially is pretty brutal at the single target DPS anyways. The Phantasms will get blown up. It's the only trouble I see for Dignitas as a result of this Queen of Pain pick. And Timbersaw too, you can't forget his
30
AoE.
seconds to battle.
So Queen of Pain offers a lot for this Zenith lineup, and they need to win their lanes is what the first thing they need to do, and they need to do basically what they did in the first game, or the opposite of what they did in the first game. They need to get strong in the mid game and take map control, because if they don't, Dignitas can sit back and farm all day. They are totally okay doing that. The only concern I have for Dignitas is that since this is a support Beastmaster, I haven't seen that before. A support Beastmaster struggles for farm. You can use him kind of in a similar way to Keeper of the Light, where he just stacks in the jungle, and ooh, it's a dual mid from Dignitas. No way I'm gonna be able to predict these lanes. Yeah, who predicts a gyrocopter with Beastmaster up at top? Not me. Not me. But Fogged is gonna be on Wisp with Owie playing the Chaos Knight, running a dual mid versus the Timbersaw. Now I don't know that they're gonna be able to kill Yamate. It really depends on the positioning. And Yamate may need to get a level of Timber Chain just for the hope that he'd be able to use it to get away. Because the Chain Stun is pretty deadly for him. And the reactive armor is not as useful for the way that Wisp and Chaos Knight work together to deal damage. It's a lot of damage in a very short period of time, which the HP regen of reactive armor is not quite as relevant in a burst scenario. So it's going to be close. I think Yamate will get his farm, but he needs to be careful, and his farm may suffer a little bit due to needing to pick up a Timber Chain. But at the same time, Owie is a little more passive of a player, and I don't know that he will necessarily max out the utility of this, or the deadliness that this Chaos Knight Wisp lane can offer. Down at bottom, Universe is on Darkseer up against Freedom on Visage and XY on Queen of Pain. A little abnormal to see Queen of Pain down in the safe lane, but it does guarantee her farm. It's definitely a lot safer than putting her up against a Chaos Knight Wisp. So I can understand the choice, and more reliably shuts Universe out of the lane. I say shut out, but he will be pressured out a little bit, depending on how well he plays this. And he's got a Sage's Mask, so he's going straight for the Soul Ring. Depending on play, he could get a lot out of this lane, and he's actually in fact stealing from all the pulls, so he's not losing out on any experience or gold here. And without any hard stuns, it's going to be hard to kill him, but they can deal a lot of damage. Since he's going for that Soul Ring, he will be a little bit lacking for health. Up at top, Zenith has Ice on Weaver and Ice on Earthshaker, which they're going for the quadruple Ice combo here. Weaver Earthshaker is something of an odd combination, and that makes for a 2-1-2 on Zenith. Haven't seen that yet this TI3. It's fairly even either way. I mean, both Earthshaker and Beastmaster are not getting a whole lot from their lanes, but the fear that I have is that these side pulls, which Zenith should be able to defend. Snaking can try and challenge them, but it's kind of chancy, and means that some of the creeps will be denied, and there's extra experience for Zenith in this lane. So they're not only getting the pulls down at bottom. Actually, Universe is doing his own jungling here, making sure that X Freedom can't do any pulling. Chain pulling, that is. So I think Zenith is probably getting more out of their lanes as a whole. I do like the dual mid quite a bit. It's hard to gank and requires no assistance from anywhere else on Dignitas, so it leaves Beastmaster feeling okay. Ooh, the combo there. Yeah, you can see that actually one trouble of that I didn't consider about pulling Timbersaw in is that he's just going to use his Whirling Death, and that's going to hit both Fogged and Owie, and that's going to hurt. So I think this combo might not actually be very effective versus Yamate. Down at bottom, XY's positioned pretty aggressively here. He wants to burn through the wave, so he's not lasting under the tower anymore. He's probably getting sick of that. But nonetheless, XY's last hitting pretty well. 24 and 6 versus. I'm surprised. Universe should be doing better than this. He's only 10 and 0. Perhaps all that time he spent trying to challenge this neutral camp has cost him. So he's a little bit further behind than he should be. Up top, Ice, 17 and 3 versus Snaking's 25 and 5. Not a surprise that Snaking's getting a little bit more since this is the safe lane. But Ice is finding his farm. Yamate is doing particularly well. He's 23 and 2 versus Owie's 23 and 6, which is pretty great. You also have to count in counting Fog there. He's 1 and 4, so there's a couple extra denies on top of that, but that's not enough to be really to be concerned for Yamate. And he's already level 6. This is when things get kind of scary for Dignitas in this lane. They'll pull him under the tower. The 2-second Chaos Stun. Do they have the ability to finish this off? Look at the Chakram damage. One Timber Chain could finish him off. He's hesitating here, and that may cost him. He's gonna try and go back in. Oh, but he actually gets First Blood onto Fog. So well played by Yamate. I thought for a second, ooh, nice rotation from Ice. Finishes off Owie with a nice Fisher. So Zenith definitely comes out on top there. I think that Yamate may have been able to finish off Owie a little bit quicker. One Timber Chain probably would have finished him off. But nevertheless, he walks out with the First Blood, and then his team finishes off Owie to boot. So definitely favoring Zenith there. And it's a nice engagement, and that's kind of the problem. If Fog gets in just even a little bit too close, the Whirling Death is a lot of damage. I mean, that's 250 on an 8-second cooldown. Oh, that's right, and this is the... I always get confused about this. For some reason, I put it into my head like 2 months ago that the Chakram is what has the stat loss on it, but it's in fact the Whirling Death that has the stat loss, and that's really effective versus strength heroes, because if you're removing their primary stat, that's removing health on Chaos Knight, as well as Wisp. Wisp is a strength hero, you can't forget that. So the Whirling Death is doubly effective for that reason. There's a smoke up here by Ice and X Freedom. They would love to go in this. It's a hard fight. Nice Fisher, bringing him on the other side. The Chakram right in the middle of Owie, and the Soul Assumption from X Freedom will finish him off. And down at bottom, XY, he actually gets a solo kill onto... Oh wow, this is 3 kills. XY picks up the double kill for this. 6 and 1. Zenith gets another really strong start to their game, and this game I don't see Dignitas having a lot of luck coming back. Way Too Sexy is getting towards his level 6, but that roar, I don't know if alone it's going to be enough to bring Dignitas back into this. They're really reliant on the Wisp and Chaos Knight, and they've gotten decent levels. Level 4 at 7 minutes in, that's not bad. 6 on Owie, could be a lot worse. But you really got to get the relocate up as soon as possible, and I like the decision making here from Zenith to get this mid tower down, because the sooner you get that down, the better things get for you, especially for Timbersaw. He wants to be active around the map, and that is totally viable for him
Radiant structures are fortified.
with that mid tower down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Snaking up atop, he is not farming really as well as he should be. He's at 34 and 7, so I guess he's not that far behind. But in terms of net worth, really low. Actually, oh god, Yamate comes in from behind, finishes off snaking. He sticks around this tower way too long, way too sexy. He's gonna try and teleport out. Is he gonna be able to make it? No, he's not. So a double kill for Zenith. Things are looking really nice for them at this point. Down at bottom, the bottom tier 1 does go down, and sneaking is actually disconnected from the game. I wonder if there will be a pause. I'm expecting a pause. I don't imagine that had a factor in that death. However, sticking around way too long, and the ward here from Zenith, or sorry, from Dignitas, it just didn't see it. I mean, this is not a very useful ward for Dignitas. You can see teleports into the tower, but they came in from behind, and that's because, as mentioned, the mid tier 1 is gone, which really opens up the jungle, reduces the number of visible points of entry that Dignitas can see Zenith coming in from, and so they walk in from behind and have a great time. Grand old party. Taking a steaming dump on sneaking. Oh, it's another deep dive. Sneaking could go down again. He immediately teleports back to the tower and just dies again. It's not going well. It's 9 to 1. Oh god. Yeah, 3,000 gold at 9 minutes in. Almost 5,000 experience. Zenith are quickly snowballing, and this is exactly what they want to do with a Queen of Pain and a Timber Saw. Their late game isn't bad either. They're not just relying on the Weaver this game. It's a much better draft, I think, much more well balanced, suited to the way that they want to play the game. But Dignitas, I mean, there's no relocate up yet. Fog is getting close to level 6, but who are they going to relocate on? Zenith is spending a lot of time grouped up together, and they're doing it on Dignitas' side of the map, which, I mean, it's kind of funny here. Like, there's 4 heroes of Dignitas sitting in the Radiant jungle, and the rest of Zenith is doing the same in Dignitas' side of the map. But I believe this circumstance favors Zenith. Smoke up by 4 here. If Dignitas gets caught in the Radiant jungle here, this could be really bad for them. XY is not far away. He's got his Sonic Wave off cooldown. If Zenith can find somebody, then this will really work to their favor. Relocate is up on Fog now. Oh, they find Universe. It's going to be an easy kill. He just absolutely gets melted. No trouble taking that kill. And so Dignitas sticks around in the jungle way too long, and they don't have wards to support that kind of positioning. They do have, well, actually, it's funny because, oh, there's a relocate up at top. They want to take out Ice, but he's gotten too far away at this point. He's going to be able to shoot Kuchi, and the first relocate of the game is wasted, although nice Fisher from Ice. Are they going to take out Fog? Yes, they do. Nice. That's a very nice Echo Slam from Ice. Recognizing that Fog is going to be teleporting back at any moment. Wait just actually uses the roar to try and do something with his death, but it's just another 2 kills going to Zenith. And top tower gets denied from Zenith. So yeah, when I was speaking earlier about Dignitas didn't have the wards, they actually have this ward, which they really thought was protecting them. It provides a lot of vision. I mean, you can see it sees this whole area, and it's a lot of the entry points. Like you can't walk out of this exit without being seen. You can't exit out of the lane through here. You can go through here, but that's about it. But because Zenith smoked up, they dodged that, and Dignitas just wasn't expecting it. So it's another tower going in favor of Zenith. Things are looking pretty bad here for Dignitas. Excess of 5,000 gold, getting up to 7,500 experience. The way... How can Dignitas turn this around? They need a great team fight. They need a relocate gank when Zenith is not expecting it. But I don't know who that can be on. Because Zenith is so mobile, and I think the strength of this lineup is not just that one hero is mobile, that you have one hero that's decent at dealing with the relocate ganks. The reason they didn't get Ice there is because he's Weaver, and the move speed got him out of range, made sure that he wasn't getting reality rifted back in. They had vision at that location. They just couldn't catch up to him. Same story for Yamate, same story for XY. These are hard heroes to kill, and with enough warning from the relocate, you can deal with it. And I like this solution for dealing with Wisp. Also helps that they have a massive advantage, and so even if they didn't have these heroes, if you're 12-1, relocate is just not that strong on its own anyways.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's a mechanism up on Yamate, which I really like this item, especially if you got the arcane boots. Increases his survivability, his effective survivability by quite a lot. And it frees up items for the rest of his team. Ice, he can just focus on his arcane boots and go straight to a blink. X Freedom, he's got his medallion. So his core item is up and running. Ultimate Orb up on XY. He's nice and stat heavy, not as easy to kill as he once was. Sneaking has still not acquired any items. He's sitting on nothing but Phase and a Bracer, and this is a mistake, I believe, as a Gyrocopter. Dignitas isn't even stacking the Ancients right now, which I think is another big mistake. If you've got a Gyrocopter, you should be stacking the Ancients, no question about it. Ice, he's gonna get caught here. It's a 4-second Chaos Bolt, so he's gonna drop. Even if he had made it through that Chaos Bolt and gotten the time lapse off, I still think he would have died.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and the 4-second Chaos Bolt was pretty helpful there. No doubt about that. Nonetheless, Zenith takes the bottom tier 1.
Bottom tower has fallen.
All the outer towers are gone. The map is wide open for Zenith.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
All they really need to do is keep their mid tier 1 up. That's the most important, especially given that they're on the Radiant side. Though, they might be okay trading it, or they won't. They'll return it. Aggressive teleports back. Oh no. Universe aggressively positioned himself and ends up feeding another kill. I love this by Ice. Just using the Echo Slam. Not waiting for the perfect opportunity, but just using it. Making sure that they're going to acquire the kill and that nobody's getting away. There's a relocate onto nothing from Fogs. It was a nice idea. Trying to save Way Too Sexy, I think this is what it's all about. And Way Too Sexy, he can try to teleport, but I think one more right click from Ice and he will go down. Oh no, and Fogged. He does have the tether, so he can go through there, but I don't know. A couple more right clicks. Yeah, he can juke this as long as he wants, but it's not going to matter. More kills. I mean, these aren't even like kills I can explain. And now he just chooses to TP out, but XY shows up just in time and blows him up with the Sonic Wave. Good execution by XY. No hesitation whatsoever. TPing out like that, I don't know. It's kind of tough when you're in the middle of the chakram because the move speed slow is quite high. It's probably one of the most overpowered aspects of it, is that if you catch somebody in the center of the chakram, then they're not stuck there, but you're going to take a lot of damage on your way out. So I think it was a smart idea by Aoi to just say, fuck it, TP. But XY close enough to get the Scream and Sonic Wave off. Mechanism is done on Universe. That's good news for Dignitas. That's good news for Dignitas. It might prevent a death, but for the moment, Dignitas is still way on the back foot. Yep, almost 10,000 gold. Right around the point of no return. There's very few games where teams come back from a 10,000 gold deficit. It's certainly possible, but statistically, I think that's the threshold at which becomes very unlikely. Oh, down in the... Wow, Way Too Sexy. He's dropping low. He'll get finished off with a Soul Assumption from X Freedom. However, there's finally a relocate that turns into a kill. Yamate goes down pretty fast. However, Fogged gets finished off by XY. There's no Sonic Wave in this fight. But Ice, he's going to have Echo Slam in about 3 seconds, and he won't even need it. And that's a 4 for 1. XY. They took out Yamate, which was really fantastic. Like, really great for Dignitas. But then XY was there, and they can't handle that much AoE. Certainly these underfarmed supports can't. I have to strongly question the rationale of picking Beastmaster as a support. Now, it could be a drafting mistake. This happens. Sometimes you pick things and you think, oh yeah, it sounds great, and then you pick something and you just kind of realize that it doesn't add up. Especially at LAN events where you're playing a lot of games, that stuff is a little more likely to happen. I don't know if this was the case of that. Maybe this is something that Dignitas has practiced before and felt that it was a viable strategy.
Double damage.
BKB is coming up from Ice, and I think that's a really great pickup for him. Will make him not afraid of Chaos Knight. Or at least his Chaos Bolt. He's still afraid of the physical damage, but his mobility should help deal with that. BKB is on the way for Owie. Should have that sometime soon. Although he's actually pretty far behind. Might be a little while before he has it. Which is not good news. You really need that BKB. This is not the sort of game where you want an underfarm Chaos Knight. Actually, I don't think Chaos Knight is an Owie sort of hero. Morphling is an Owie hero. Heroes that spend a lot of time farming. Luna is a big Owie hero, I feel.
Dire's middle tower is under
But spending all day farming, I just don't think is how Chaos Knight is best used. He's got these amazing disables and lots of free damage that you don't need items for.
tower is under attack.
So you can play him a lot more aggressively than you can other types of heroes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Call down gets dropped by snaking. Timber chain out. Oh, there's a relocate coming in the middle of everything here. Yamate, he's chopping through the trees. They're gonna get X freedom. He's dropping really low, but he gets the soul assumption off onto Fog before he does go down. Vacuum onto 2 from Universe will guarantee the kill on XY, which is a very important kill. But Yamate is coming in from the side. Misses the Timber Chain, but he could get way too sexy here, especially with the help from the familiars. In fact, Yamate does manage to get that return kill. So Zenith, oh my god, what's going on over here? Ice, what are you doing, brother? He does get the kill on snaking, but that's not worth feeding Owie for. So, a little bit of over-aggression from Zenith. They can't afford to be throwing this lead away. And not a lot of reason for this aggression either. I did like the attempted disengage from Zenith there, particularly Yamate. I was watching him. He chopped through the trees to get away from that relocate, and they scattered fairly decently, but they still ended up giving up X freedom, and the vacuum caught XY as well. He's got a sheep stick. I don't know if he had that for that fight. Could have been a big difference maker, but I kind of feel like maybe, I mean, the sheep stick is great. There's nothing wrong with that pickup, but he definitely needs to pick up more damage. Or potentially a BKB. One of those two. Probably the BKB, just to deal with the stun, because he wouldn't have died there if he had a BKB. And, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't very often question a sheep stick, but this is the sort of game where you've got this massive lead. Certainly that will help maintain it, but if you just buy a BKB, then you guarantee that you can't die, and that's at least as good as sheeping someone. You've got the damage necessary to take someone out, so you don't necessarily need that disable. Like I said, there's a surge from Universe to get away from that Fisher. I was thinking about going in, thought about the Reality Rift, and thought better of it a second later. Zenith continue to camp inside Dignitas' jungle. They're not extending their lead right now. They're hovering right at the 10,000 mark.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They need to start, well, I mean, they're taking more towers now, but I think grouping up like this, as necessary as it is versus the relocate,
Radiant structures are fortified.
they've got all that aforementioned mobility. They're going to teleport back. Can they find any kills here? Yamate, he will not catch anybody with a chakram, but he'll Timber Chain all the way over to Universe. This should be an easy kill. Onto, pops the mechanism, surges away. Can he make this work? Now, there's a roar onto Ice, but that's not going to stop. Not going to stop him from going down. Now, the Phantasm gets popped by Owie, but oh, the great Echo Slam from Ice. What a perfect Echo Slam. Immediately after the Phantasm. Just waiting for Owie to do it. And he did. Presses R. GG. A 4 for 0 in favor of Zenith. A bad disengage from Dignitas. They went left instead of going up. Or sorry, they went right instead of going up. They disengaged in multiple directions. They were all split up, and when you're in this kind of situation like Dignitas is, being split up against a team that's so much more farmed means that 1v1 engagements, you're all going to lose them. Like everyone is going to die in a 1v1 circumstance, and nobody knows who to take the Aegis. Yamate ends up picking it up. He drops something for it. I didn't see what, but interesting build on Yamate. I didn't realize that he built a Vanguard. Oh, there's a relocate. They really want this tower, so they will get it. Find something for their trouble. But oh, this could cost them. They've got 6 seconds to get away, and yeah, they will. Yeah, pretty ballsy in the scheme of things, which is a little bit sad when you think about it. It shouldn't actually be ballsy. It should be fairly safe play. But yeah, the Vanguard on Yamate is really effective versus Chaos Knight, and I believe that also procs off of Flat Cannon from sneaking. So a lot of uses for that. I haven't seen it on Timbersaw before, and you know, he's a really tanky hero, or rather, really survivable hero, I should say. He doesn't have the reactive armor. Doesn't actually make him that much more tanky. It's more sustain and regen that it's so good for. Oh, Timber Chain in, Fog. He just gets melted by perfect execution by Yamate. One of the things I love about seeing Timbersaw in professional play is execution like that. Like, that's just no hesitation, exact placement, and it's working out really well. Way Too Sexy will go down. No trouble whatsoever.
I'm sorry. Did you say stop?
Yamate will continue pushing in this bottom lane while Zenith is active elsewhere around the map. That's a Desolator up on Ice. There's not much armor on Yaoi. He's got to be careful. And oh, look at all the minus armor he's got. Yamate's going one-on-one with sneaking and winning hard. Oh, nice familiar stun, but the 4-second Chaos Bolt. I always had a fair amount of luck with these Chaos Bolts at just the right moments. 1 second less, and that would have been a kill for Ice. Nonetheless, chasing Aoi off the map. Into the well.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, BKB Deso Weaver. That's a strong mid-game Weaver. I like that build. Aoi still working on his BKB 25 minutes in. He has no other items. Things are looking really bad for Dignitas here. It's interesting. It's basically, it's not the exact opposite of the last game. It's far from it, but this is about how commanding a lead Dignitas had taken at 25 minutes in game 1. I think Zenith maybe had a little more in their favor. Maybe. Oh, there's a relocate somewhere. Were they just looking for a kill? I don't know what the goal is to that. Oh, they're just baiting Zenith. That's a nice idea. I don't know if it's really going to matter that much. They've still got the Aegis on Yamate, and he's feeling pretty happy about that. Orchid is actually up on XY, so he's going to have that in just a moment. His damage is starting to get up there. Yet more ways for XY to blow somebody up. 2,000 gold on Universe. He could have a sheep stick at some point in the future. Someday. Somewhere. Maybe it'll be this game. Maybe it'll be next game. Maybe it'll be never. We'll just have to find out. Man, way too sexy. This Beastmaster pick, I do not think is paying off at all, and I don't think it's Way Too Sexy's fault. You put him in the jungle and you tell him to stack creeps. He's not going to get much done. Now, oh, there's a jump in from Yamate. He's straight on top of Fog. The Surge will keep Fog alive, but that's the most that they can do. Oh, Aoi, he's thinking about coming from behind. Yamate still has his Aegis.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
In fact, Yamate has the Aegis for about another minute or so. Oh, there's a jump in. Lands the Chakramon 2. The middle Rex goes down. The Roar is used on Ice, but he's already got the BKB pop, so not going to happen. And the Courier goes down. That's Rax at 27 minutes in. It's 28-7, and I'm guessing this is going to be a 15,000 gold lead. Ooh, nice Fisher onto 2. Sonic Wave before Owie can pop the BKB, and he just gets melted. No trouble. Nice wall into Vacuum. But also a nice Echo Slam from Earthshaker, and Staking will barely make it out. Probably will die to the Beatles. Yes, he will. And it's a team wipe in favor of Zenith. Dignitas can try to make this work. Just a buyback from Fogged, or from Universe. I don't know what he expects to do with this. Zenith is just going to keep working on the rest of the base. They're not concerned about a Darkseer buyback. Perhaps because he wanted to get the gem. Hoping beyond hope that maybe they can turn this around. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, the Timber Chain. Perfect Timber Chain from Yamate. Wow. Yamate has done a lot of work this game. I think... Ooh, nice Vacuum. Yeah, pretty nice Vacuum. Although, you can see how much regen he gets from those tower hits. Well, that's 2 sets of racks going the way of Zenith, and I think that's basically game 2. Dignitas can hold on. They're not calling the GG yet, but frankly, I don't know why. That's a Crystallis up on Ice. Bloodstone finished on Yamate, which he hasn't even had this whole time. He's basically been doing all of this with a Mechanism and a Vanguard, which makes him more or less impossible to kill until 40 to 45 minutes. There has to be a lot of damage on Dignitas to make that work. I don't know. The only hope for Dignitas in this is that they get... Yeah, they're going for the Rapier. That's their one hope. So I guess... I don't know. A Rapier on Gyrocopter is probably not even going to turn this around. I mean, Yamate can actually tank that. That's how much beefcake he has in his inventory right now. And it's also not hard to kill sneaking at all. It's a hope. I mean, it increases the chances of Dignitas winning this from 0%, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Cut from the same cloth.
And I don't even know if he's going to be able to farm it up in time. It's one of the things that No Tidehunter, that's the former name of Alliance before they kicked Eternal Envy. Eternal Envy really liked to draft support Gyrocopter. Oh, there's a Roar into Yamate. I don't know. They can't do this. He's way too tanky. Chakram onto 3, Echo Slam onto 3, Sonic Wave onto 3. Deadly combo here, and I mean, they can try and kill Yamate, but it's just not going to work. The rest of their base is taking plenty of damage while this goes on. Yamate can stay right on top of them. And Yaoi will go down. The Chakram will make sure that Snaking goes nowhere. And Yamate, he can dive this tower if he so desires. There's the GG call by Dignitas. 31 minutes in, 39-9. Dignitas, they suffer quite badly in this game. They basically never got their foothold. I thought the dual mid was pretty nice, but I don't know. A support Gyrocopter would have been better than a support Beastmaster in this game. What a greedy lineup from Dignitas that just doesn't pay off in any way. All 5 of these heroes need items. You can't run a completely empty Wisp. And you certainly can't run a completely empty Beastmaster. I mean, picking him for the Roar is a terrible idea if that's all he's going to offer you. I mean, just look at the scores here. Way Too Sexy and Fog, 1-9 and 0-9, just getting demolished. And Owie 3-8 too as the carry. That just can't happen. The dual mid I thought was a nice idea, but it just doesn't pay off because I think Owie's a little too passive as a carry. There's nothing wrong with that. Like that doesn't make him a bad player, but they need to pick in accordance with how their players play. And Chaos Knight, I just don't think is his type of hero. Every time I've watched him, he loves to farm. He loves to play it safe, and something like a Luna, something anti-mage, Morphling, something that he can sit back and show up at the right time. Not a Chaos Knight who requires constant management and is always accompanied by the Wisp. Just doesn't work so well. So 1-1 between Zenith and Dignitas. Both pretty good games. I really liked Zenith's play, particularly in the second game. Pretty entertaining to watch. A lot of big chaos slams from Ice on Earthshaker, and really great Timbersaw play from Yamate. XY, he may be 12-1-6, but I really think this game can be credited to great play from Yamate and the rest of his team. Not to say that he didn't have any part in that, because he certainly did. But I just think he did his job. The 12-1-6 does not indicate that he necessarily excelled beyond expectations.